It's the same. It's the same company.
Is that the ball?
Yeah.
Do they make the ball? Yeah, I've got one at home. You can hear like the cracks in the floor. So I tried to use it for streaming, and it was no go for that.
Yeah, for sure. I should probably do a super quick intro.
Hell yeah.
Hello, welcome to 646. My name's Dawson McManus. We have Dylan Ireland in the studio today. If you're listening on Pet Rock Radio, this is the first show back. This is the first show on Pet Rock and the first show back that I've done since the pandemic. So thanks a lot for being here, man.
Oh, happy to be here, and I'm happy the pandemic's over.
No kidding. We were just talking about trying to keep the language to a minimum too, and I gotta think about it a little bit. Before we get too deep, give everybody your socials so they can check you out, and we'll do it again at the end.
Socials, Dylan Ireland _official, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and I also have another alias, Dilly, which is 3 I's 3 L's, and that's on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
And that's for the video game stuff, yeah?
Yeah, video game and music. I play live music on stream, and then we do chat stuff, and then we squad up and play games in between, and then if someone subs to the channel, I play a song for them, and it's fun. We've got all sorts of links and commands in chat, send you to all my stuff and socials. And
that's awesome. How long have you been doing the streaming thing for now?
About 2 years, and then I've been affiliate on the site for like a year and a half now. Okay. I've got some awesome supporters from around the world, really. Yeah, it's been great. It's fun meeting people that way.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Just super quick, I guess bands that people would probably know you from: Express & Co.
Correct.
Ireland Brothers.
Correct.
And now Doses.
Doses, yes. And now Dylan Ireland. I'm finally out on my own.
Just so, and a solo thing too.
Yes. I've actually left playing with Doses.
Oh, okay.
Just for, you don't need to cut that, if you don't want to, but
sure.
I thought I told you that, but
no, I didn't.
It's hilarious information to learn like this.
Okay, yeah, hey man.
Hey, you kids want to see the 30-second exclusive? The lake. It's a total personal thing. Love those guys, and that band rules, and I actually hope we can make music again and release something someday. But I have tons of overwhelming mental health issues that I deal with that I'm somewhat successful with, but it's strenuous and exhausting and very inside. So I had to take a step back and think about how I want to do things and what I want to do right now and how to go forward like that.
That's responsible.
Yeah, trying to be.
Well, I mean, I would say, if you don't mind me bringing it up, I would say you've made some mega strides in being far more responsible than you have previously been in the past.
I was a very unresponsible, unresponsible. I actually was unresponsive. I was an unresponsive adult who was very irresponsible.
Yeah. So, I mean, shit, the fact, I hope you don't mind me saying
I don't. I'm totally open about every single thing in my life.
Well, the fact that you're here today.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaks volumes, because I've tried to set up shows with you a few times.
4 or maybe 3.
I think this is the 4th one.
I think we hit it.
And we hit it.
Right here on the
4th time's the charm.
Yeah, so it took a worldwide pandemic. and then now I'm 3 years and I think 4 months sober from illegal drugs and alcohol. Last time I used, I took a pretty incredible amount of a certain drug and woke up, and I had an epiphany that afternoon, and I haven't been the same person since.
Do you mind if I ask about it?
Go right ahead.
How did the epiphany strike? Like, what did that feel like when you? Well, I guess first when you went to bed, and then the difference between falling asleep that way
and then
get
into details.
Sure.
crazy details. I don't know what I can say, but I took a large amount of MDMA.
Okay.
Like a very large amount, like about $250 worth, $240 worth.
Wow. I don't know what that measures out to.
A lot.
Okay.
Probably 20 pills or something. Yes, off of my dresser into my nose, and I had been a user for a long time, but it had built up to that. And then I just went to sleep. I don't even remember going to sleep, to be honest with you.
Right.
And then I don't know what my plan was there. But I woke up the next day and I was in quite the haze.
Right.
I'd been up for a few days, and all I remember is being on my computer because I had started to build a little computer desk to sit up and start streaming, and I had these ideas of. I always wanted to be sober. I kind of always knew it was going to happen. And that day, I actually came across a Jim Carrey video on YouTube. Him doing a speech. I forget what you call it.
Was it a commencement speech?
Thank you. To a university. And I remember standing out of my chair while he was talking and just like not looking at the video and just hearing certain words and going, what the? Like, what? Having a full on. I'm someone who's had derealization panic attacks and things. This was like a realization attack of good or the want of it. And I flipped everything right there. And that was it.
That's awesome.
That was it. Yeah. I just had some new hobbies and I stayed home for a while and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, because, I mean, basically since then, a bunch of different things have happened. Even just physically, like you lost a ton of weight.
At one point, 100 pounds, and then
Good God.
I gained a little bit by starting to eat better and going to the gym.
Yeah.
So a little muscle, maybe a burger here and there helped.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I was 298 at my biggest, and then I was 195 or 196 approximately.
Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 months ago, maybe a little longer than that ago.
That's wild, because you're a tall dude too.
Mm-hmm.
Because how tall are you?
6'2.5" or something.
Yeah, so like 198 is not
A lot.
It's not a lot for that frame.
No, it's yeah. It was just the extreme drop. I started running.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, and the running at the start when you're bigger and out of shape is fun. But luckily, I just was like having intense mental health problems and like while sober, way worse than during my addiction.
Well, it's easier to disassociate when you're wasted.
Yeah, it was easier to deal with that, apparently, because what I went through after a year of sobriety was like the craziest stuff ever.
Sure.
Some of the panic attacks and things, and then I finally saw some doctors, and they said, like, you have things you have since you were a kid, which puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
And then the right medication really helped me.
Sure. Yeah.
Like big time.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who went through multiples, as you do as an addict, and then whether I couldn't find the right one or whether I could have gave a shit.
Yeah.
I do now.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
It's great.
Well, I would think also too, mixing different things in there can kind of counteract what you're taking, right?
Yeah, it totally does, and you know that, and then you just kind of go, it doesn't matter anyways, I'm not going to take this. It makes me feel funny, it's not working.
Yeah.
That happened to me multiple times for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I think, like, just having known you for as long as we've known each other, I think you're doing awesome.
Thanks, man.
Like
you're doing awesome.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's really cool to see somebody that, like, you're really skilled at what you do. And then there were times when other things were just really getting in the way.
Oh, hardcore.
And to see you kind of correct that path is really cool and exciting. And I've always liked working with you, but it's a lot more fun now.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Because you're lucky if I was there before. I always made the joke that I think I might have canceled more gigs than Axl Rose at the end there. Looking back, it's funny because you're just like, whether it's a personality disorder or something, but that person is so not around.
Yeah.
Like that whole entity is gone. It's fucking weird.
Yeah,
It's weird to feel and it's weird to know.
Yeah. For sure.
It's good though. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And it's a good the dark to the light, the hard change is if only an example of something.
Yeah.
For somebody.
Oh man. I'm sure for a lot of people.
Shit's hard.
Yeah. Life is tough.
Yeah.
You know? And not to just kind of keep putting it on you. I've dealt with depression like my whole life.
Yep.
And I'm sure everybody's is a little different, but just having some glimpse into what it's like to not be okay versus when you are is, oh man,
terrifying.
Yeah. But then when you come out of it, like that feels so good.
Yeah, about a year or so into mine, I fell into like the grayest. I wouldn't even call it dark. I would call it foggy and gray, but so foggy and gray that it's you almost want it to be dark because that would be brighter.
Right.
It's like
because then you'd feel something.
And what it is because I'm kind of a nerd.
Sure.
Obviously, is you're just not. Your brain is reaching for stuff that it does not have. So that's what comes from, like, I would look at a building and even on a sunny day, I couldn't like be like, that's nice. You wouldn't even have those thoughts.
Right.
And it started to be like scary. And after a few days I went in and got looked at.
Yeah. So I guess too, probably having a label on certain issues, I guess, like, I don't know, conditions, I guess, if you want to call it that.
All with such a large spectrum.
Yeah.
Of how people feel it and experience it.
Yeah, but even just having a label of any kind has got to be somewhat, I don't know, soothing's the right word, but orienting at least.
Orienting, that's it. It's because it's. I always say it's like it gives you the right perspective, but it like orients you in your seat, and you're like, okay, well, it's like it's terrifying when that stuff's happening and you don't know.
Right.
But then you're like, oh, okay. I'm nuts. No, there's better words for it, but
sure.
I struggle with generalized anxiety disorder, which is trauma stress induced from childhood, and then I have OCD, ADHD, both diagnosed.
Right.
And they actually don't know whether it's both or one or the other, or I still go to the doctor. We're trying to find out. But it helps. It just helps, and daily life is easier.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find? I'm curious because I've for issues that I'm dealing with, I always look for catharsis in activities of one kind or another, which is probably why, at least I can speak for myself, music became such an all-encompassing, got to do it every day sort of thing, because there's such a release from it, not just in playing other people's stuff, but writing my own material. Do you find that for you, or
no?
No. Okay.
No, actually.
Really?
I am now.
Ah, okay.
Just now. I'd say in the last 2-3 months.
No
you get
kidding.
the right people around you, you're able to experience yourself in a natural way that you might not even be able to do for yourself when you're alone or with the wrong people.
Right.
But when you have people around you that lift you up, you're like, oh, there I am. So I've been playing guitar and drums in the studio at James McKentie's studio in record time. I just spent 6 days in a row there. Yeah,
you were saying when you first came in that
recording with Sarah Jane Riley, and then also recording with another artist there.
Sweet. Are you allowed to talk about that one yet, or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I actually just don't know enough info.
Oh, okay. We'll talk off mic.
Yeah, we'll have to talk off mic.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just got called in, and it just did it yesterday and the day before, and
that's great, man. Congrats.
Where's my? I can't get my phone. I can't.
We're recording with it.
I feel bad because I'm forgetting his name. And I should remember it, but I'm playing guitar with him. I don't know if he's a public artist either, so I shouldn't anyways.
We'll talk off mic.
No worries. But it's been super fun because I grew up playing the drums. I grew up in a trailer with a basement, I know. People are always like, trailer. Wait, what? A basement? So we had a 60-foot trailer, a full basement underneath.
That's cool.
And half of it was jam room. The other half was some storage. And there definitely was not a hidden weed room in the other end. And then... Totally not. Definitely not. Fake story. Yeah. And then the jam room had a full set of drums and PA and guitars and all that. So,
hell yeah.
So because of my addiction and the way I was an addict, which my doctor described as having a brain fart. What's the most famous Daredevil's name?
Oh, Evel Knievel.
I was more like Evel Knievel against myself. I was worse when I was alone than when I was at parties. or around people. That was me trying to be normal. The connection with music made it really difficult to like make that an everyday thing. And growing up around it, I feel so like it feels so attached to like the only thing you are or who you are. And finding another hobby was a big thing for me. Right. Realizing that's not the only thing you are. You're like a lot more.
Sorry. I totally
No worries. No, you're good. That was the end.
Oh, okay.
Of that thought. You're just a lot, you might be a lot more, and everyone is a lot more than, you know, what they were brought up around, which might be lovely, which was lovely. My grandpa's, there's the language. Yeah. My grandpa was a country singer. He's on the Walk of Fame in town, and my dad was in a band called the Swamp Band with my Uncle Charlie and my Uncle Ray. They have 2 albums on tape. So it was like sit in the circle and play music when we were at family stuff. And
yeah.
But unfortunately, my experience through becoming a musician, becoming my own artist, being in bands, having a little bit of success here and there, a little bit, total eye roll, total cringe, made it just the attachment of that, the addiction, music, substance use, substance availability, substance
romanticization.
Yeah, what a great word to say. Thank you for that. I'm only letting you say it. Of it is hard, and then so those being attached together, it's made it hard to just be and just be like really focus on music. But yeah, it's coming out of me like the best ever now. So
that's great, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy to hear that. Did you find that doing the streaming thing and the game and Twitch stuff all together, did you find that having that outlet made it easier to do the music?
Oh, big time.
Okay,
big time. Cool. Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm done this now. Now I can focus on this, and I know it just it made it easier. Yeah.
That's
at
awesome.
First it was you know how you're like, you know very well music industry and how you know how I was like it became such a consistent thing.
Yeah.
Using and partying and. Like a regular afternoon is still getting drunk and having a couple of lines, and it's like that's a soft afternoon. That's like some people look at that and are like think they would die if they did that, and they could.
Sure.
Which is so it's crazy to live like that. So it's like, and it takes up all that time. So I was like, what are you gonna do with all your time?
Yeah.
And I'd started gaming with my friends, and I loved video games when I was a kid.
Of course.
Being immersed, just escaping, right?
Yeah.
And I started, and then I saw some stuff on the internet, and I was like, oh, people just like sit up at a desk and play it with screens. Like, that's cool. There's professionals. And then I realized there was a whole streaming community, and I got on Twitch, and I saw all these streamers, and I was like, oh my God, look at all this. And I was gaming to take up some of my time on the weekends if I wasn't gigging sober. Because some of the first few months, gigging sober was not an issue, but it was like a fucking event. Yeah. It was like, we made it home.
Yeah.
We're safe. After about 6 months, it was easy. But
sure. When
I didn't have a gig, what do I do? I would always just go to the liquor store or go to the drug store. Double wink. Yeah. So it was time consuming, and then I got on Discord and Twitch and found that the healthy vibe of the communities in there, I was like, I'm gonna make my own. So I made my own, and I now have made some of the best friends I have in my whole life.
Dude, that's
my friend
rad.
Joni, we call her Sugar Sweet. That's her name in Twitch. She's my moderator. She's been subbed to me for 2 straight years. I know their family, her husband Dan, their kids, and they're like my best friends. Totally my best friends, and more people on there. More, I could list so many. So
that's great, man.
Yeah, it's become a very healing thing, and I get to spam them with my music.
Cool. So you almost have like a test audience built in.
Yeah, and I'll play them a new song or something, and the vibe on stream is super fun. It's a lot of making fun and being who you are and being safe, and knowing that you can come somewhere where it's like, oh, everything's a good vibe in here at all times.
That's cool.
So if you need to have that, you can come in and have that.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have something that really resonated with me anyway that you just said, was that you get to be who you are. And on stage, you know better than A lot of people. That's a character for most of us when we go up there.
100%. Like I would say a characterization would be maybe even better than
sure.
Just because it's like, you're right, it is a character, but it's like it's a very strong piece of you.
Yes, of course.
Obviously, I played with you. I know you're there. You're there, and you're happy to be there, just like me.
Yes. In
different ways, but it's a character of you, but it's just one piece of you, and maybe I was someone who's a little convinced it was all of me, and there's more. I'm a total nerd.
Yeah. Man, I totally understand thinking that your entire identity is just I am this musician. When the pandemic hit, I hadn't not played a gig. The longest I'd ever taken off of gigging, I think, was 2 months. Since the time I was 14 to the time I was, was that 2 years ago? So I would have been 30, I would have been 36 when the pandemic hit. The longest I'd ever taken off gigging from the time I was 14 to 36 was 2 months.
That's crazy.
And there was a night, I guess morning technically, I was just wandering around our dining room table. It was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in the dark. Just, my wife comes in, she goes, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?" And I just, and in all honesty, I just looked at her and went, "I don't know who I am." And it was a really scary
That's a scary moment.
Yeah, it was really scary. And I was like, I gotta figure out something. I gotta figure out something else that I can not just express myself, but just a state of being. And I maybe got a little too obsessed with fitness stuff for a little bit.
Can I ask, is that why you're built like a brick tank now?
That's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah. Well, I'll give a little bit of backstory on that.
Love it. Please do.
When I was 4 years old, my older brother came home from school one day covered in bruises. And my parents were like, no, that's not going down.
Yeah.
And they put him in judo. And
nice.
I see my big brother, and I go, I have to do everything he's doing because he's the big brother. That's what you do. You follow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so the instructor made an exception for me to join at 4. And I did martial arts from the time I was 4 to 19.
Dope.
But when I was, competing really hard, like a couple of comps a month, music was starting to pay on the regular.
Yeah.
Because I got my first residency at 14 at this tavern, this roadhouse, and I got $50 a week, which as a 14-year-old, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And so, but concussions are real.
Yeah, for sure.
And so are nosebleeds and black eyes and
just random injuries. I imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
My foot's broken today.
Yeah, kind of. and something I noticed as well, because I was 14, just flooded with testosterone and very heavy duty interest in ladies. Girls seemed far less impressed with the black eye without much explanation as they were with me walking around with just a guitar case in my hand.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to actually play. Just the fact that I had the instrument with me, they're like,
Totally.
"Oh, hey, how are you doing?"
Totally. I utilized that.
Oh, yeah.
At an early age.
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't getting the job done.
No.
So
But this
is
adorable.
Immediately. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
All right.
So at 19, I was like, I better make a choice. I either go all in martial arts or I go all in music.
Yeah.
And I have one last comp that ended kind of scary, and I was like, woof, music. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
well, it's, when you're trying to do both, it's tough too. Because I remember when I was skateboarding a lot when I was young. It was like,
oh, cool.
If I like break something, I can't. I had a lot of gigs coming up with the Ireland Brothers. I remember we were just starting to play Toronto at the Dakota Tavern, and it was like you can't hurt your anything. You can't hurt yourself, or you look like you're dumb. You can't limp on stage. You can't so I just kind of stopped doing that stuff for that reason. Actually, basically.
Yeah. Well, and that's big part of the reason why I took a very long hiatus from martial arts, and then do you know Durain D'Souza?
Yeah.
Yeah, great dude.
Yeah, I'm friends with him for sure.
Killer kickboxer.
Love that guy. Yeah, he's awesome. He went to nationals or something. Yeah, I don't know the exact.
I want to say in 2017, I think he won.
I know he represented Canada. Yeah, that's amazing.
I need to double check.
I don't know.
I need to double check, but I think he won it.
I know he's amazing, and he's
really
one of the most interesting, raddest dudes.
He's so cool.
I remember when I started Doses, I always said, "Can we get D to do the interviews? Like, he just put a hat on. He's so cool and so like
he's suave.
He's very suave. Yeah. Thank you. I love him. Yep.
Yeah, he's so rad. So he and I were hanging out one night, and we were talking about martial arts and how much I missed it. And he's like, dude, why don't you just come back? It's still, guess what? It still exists. And I was like, yeah, I know. Which is like,
guess what? It still exists.
Yeah, it's not going.
It didn't go away when you quit.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Master. I shall return.
Right? Everybody just pause. But I told him straight up, I was like, dude, I'm so afraid of hurting my hands with, and I was just thinking about striking. And he's like, well, you don't strike in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Why don't you do that? And I'm not even thinking about all the joint locks and just getting your fingers tangled up in the gi and all the...
Yeah, I think it's worse.
It's way harder on your hands.
It's way worse.
Yeah, it is.
Like, even just pulling on the gi, you're going to twist your finger, or like... I hurt my finger at home.
Yeah. And I'm super grateful that he tricked me. Because it's what brought me back. And I started back in jits, and I was like, oh my God, this is a huge thing that I didn't even realize I was missing. That, because I had done it for so long as a kid, and I have a vague memory of, I don't know if I should tell you. Yeah, screw it.
But yeah, then now you have to.
I kind of have to. So I was like, on the sly, kind of abducted by a relative and taken to a doctor. You good?
I'm falling. It's okay.
I was on the sly, somewhat abducted after school by a relative and taken to a doctor. And I was tested for ADD, ADHD. And that specific doctor highly recommended that I was put on Ritalin or some kind of pharmaceutical. My parents were like, no.
Yeah.
And the martial arts it really helped to suck all that kind of energy out.
That makes so much sense, because I just stopped taking Concerta, which is an ADHD medication. Vyvanse didn't work for me. I have diagnosed ADHD. I don't know if it's some of my past with stimulants and some of the triggering feelings of what it's like to take a stimulant, or it just made me a bit intense. I did well on it. I was productive. I felt good, but off of it, much better. Yeah. And what I've realized is, because I like to run and exercise too, and if I get over I have hard task paralysis, which is why I'm not I'm not at the gym yet. Like I have a really hard time doing something that would involve me going to a gym with people. Sounds like insane to me. Like, it's like, whoa.
We'll get back to that, to the other stuff in just a sec, but on that note, would it help if you came with me?
Oh yeah, that's my plan, is because we're hanging out more, and I'm like, I'm going to come train, because I've talked to Marcus Brown too.
I was just going to say, come train with me and Marcus.
Dee said the same thing to me.
There you go,
before,
man.
And I've very soon, and it's coming up very soon. This is what I always say, very soon, very soon, I swear, I'll be there. If I leave my home.
What if I just come pick you up?
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Like if I'm banging on the door.
Yeah, that I love that. That's,
all right.
That's terrifying to me. And it's probably a good thing. Yeah. Resistance is where everything's at now. So it's like, if I don't want to run, but I haven't ran, I'm like, oh, this is a good run. Yeah. Because I'm running through something here at least. You're almost it's like, I just killed my personal record on 3 kilometers. That's a good run, but you wake up and you're like, I don't really understand why I exist, or why any of us do what is going on. And you have that feeling, and then you don't want to run. Sure. But you know you have to, and then you do. That's a fucking run. Dude, that's the best feeling. Yeah. And you realize you're capable and you're alive, and you're like, yeah, all right, it's going to be okay at least for another day. Oh, dude. I feel after a run, I feel like don't come near me. Don't mess with my good vibes. I'm telling you right now, because I'm aggressively keeping people safe. At least myself. It comes from here, and then I have to go outward.
Yeah.
I had to bring it all back because it was so messed up.
Well, that's one of the things about feeling better is you want everybody to feel better.
Yeah. It's almost annoying. And, you know, not to get into any personal things, but of course you separate from certain people and friendships change and boundaries change and things change. And, like those people don't even know that you still love those people. And it's just a very real thing about switching from the dark to the light. And it's not like some sort of anything good. It's that because I was at risk of not having a life anymore, I had to come back here and I have to go out that way. So it's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, don't tread on me.
Yeah.
Which is why you're built like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry.
I love it. That's my
totally
goal too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how we got on or off or where we were even at.
We were talking about the pandemic.
Yes.
And so
positive results from a negative event.
That gym that I've got in the other room, which actually, by the way, anytime you want to come lift, man,
for sure,
just come over and lift.
For sure. I'm not going in that gym until we go with one with more people in it, because you're gonna lock me in there and choke me out.
No. We'll just lift weights.
I know. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Cool.
You can test me and be like, yeah. Needs work.
No, I'll just coach you through some basic lifts.
I like that. Directions is like that gives me comfort, where I'm like, tell me like what to do, and like,
yeah, sure.
I really enjoy being not good at something, because I like thinking, at least, that I can be good at that thing. Because if I'm trying it, if I'm bad at it, it means I'm doing it. And not very many people just are good at something. So.
Dude, that's why I keep going back to train in martial arts, because
resilience.
I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
And
never mind. Until you got to show somebody.
Well, I mean, I like that I am better today at it than I was yesterday. And until I get humbled again. Well, actually, yesterday.
5 minutes later, the gym humbled.
Marcus punched me in the throat yesterday. He wasn't aiming for my throat.
For anybody listening that doesn't know, Marcus is Marcus Brown, who drums with multiple acts. You and I've played, musicians punching each other in the throat. It's my favorite thing.
He's one of the sweetest human beings I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, he makes me smile every time I see him. The wave and the whole, that's a good human right there.
Oh my God,
more of Marcus,
dude. The Brown clan in general,
they're the best.
They're the greatest people. They're all so cool.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah,
they're so dope. Yeah. They really are.
Love you guys.
So many cameras.
They're the best.
This is awesome, by the way. I appreciate you having me here.
Oh, I appreciate you coming in. It's fun to get back to this. Like this, what we were kind of talking about earlier. This is an excuse for me to hang out with people that I want to hang out with more, because I have this terrible workaholism problem where I feel like if I'm not working, I'm being unproductive.
Yeah. And
wasting my time. And so in order to actually sit down and have a chat with somebody and just find out, like, I had no idea that you grew up in a trailer.
No,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, not everybody does.
Sure. A lot more now.
My new manager, Chat GTP4, knows that. Yeah, I grew up in a trailer just outside of Peterborough, like kind of in the middle of the triangle of Hastings, Camelford, and Havelock. We had a Havelock phone number, Camelford school, Hastings address, and a trailer on the 13th line, which isn't there anymore. I think it's buried in the ground.
No way.
It was on a farm, friends of the family. Wayne and Karen Housen, absolutely love those people. And it was magical, really, as a kid. 100 acres.
Oh, that's rad.
Growing up, of course, you get the comments from kids once they find out in school, and they're like...
Sure.
I remember one insult. Someone on the side of the soccer field yelled, "Get a basement." And the funny part is, I'm the only person I've ever known that lived in a trailer with a full basement underneath in the ground. That's where the music was. Where my dad's jam room was, and the wood stove, and the drums. And
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I punched that guy in the nose, by the way. We were 10. Yeah, I did, right in the nose. One of the only times I did that as a child. I do not advocate violence.
No, I don't. Sorry, I shouldn't have said good. But I mean, at the same time.
But I do advocate self-defense.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Watch your mouth. I think this is a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do whatever.
Yeah.
You ever watch like the big podcast? I'm a big like Tom Segura fan. They say terribly awesome, funny things.
Oh my God. There's.
I was gonna say just to mention, not to go off, but you have a similar like positive outcome story from a super negative mass event, the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention that part of my sobriety was, if the pandemic didn't happen, I don't know if I would be alive.
Wow.
Because there was no other, I was stuck in a circle of gigs and bars and just this existence of whatever I was doing, trying to get out as quick as possible with as much fun as possible. But that was my state of mind. But they all closed. From my perspective, and sickness is bad, and I know many people had heartache and many things happened during the pandemic that were horrendous. From my perspective, it saved my life.
Yeah, well,
the bars being closed and not having that option I was only really an addict for a few more months, and then I was like, I'm gonna do something else.
Yeah,
the whole culture was gone for me, and it was like almost like this is the time.
Yeah.
Self-rehab during pandemic.
It's that reset button, right?
Yeah, it was almost like, okay, I got to stay home. And I can't get into rehab because I've signed up 4 times in the last 8 years. And by the time the waiting list from 6 months later, which is now much longer, thank you very much to politicians for that, you don't even make it there. It's like, an addict needs to get in right there, right now.
Yeah.
Like right now. Like,
That's
and it's
crazy.
an emergency right now, let alone 6-8 months later. So I took advantage of that and was like, I'm gonna do it myself right here. Just a hard stop.
That's pretty amazing, man. I don't think I know a couple of people that didn't have that discipline.
No,
And
I've lost some friends and
same.
previous and post, and I've lost some friends to even just, they're still here. They're still, but jail or some. I met some people in my addiction that that came from a place that I actually didn't even really know was real, was here. Kids that grew up with their mom would hand them a package of something to deliver 7 times a day, but they know what it is by the time they're 8, and they're using it by the time they're 11, and they're right here in Peterborough. They're right in every city across the world, and you meet these people and they're human. And then you see them in a paper, and then the whole city really views them as like this monster, and all the comments, and it's like, you met this person, you actually were like on a bender with them for 3 days, and you just like see human everybody, and it's a rough go, but some people don't make it out.
Yeah, it's
ever.
true, and it's a rough thing, and
I claim for sure all privilege of family, but it
helps. But it's
saves,
not the only thing.
totally saves. Yeah, having people. I had, my mom, my brother, friends.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, man. Like,
some people don't have that, and then they don't have that to fall on, and they get lost for sure. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah,
which is why I try to advocate a little bit while whilst I'm in the system.
Yeah,
fighting for things is it becomes apparent when you have a bit of privilege and ability, and how hard it is to get what you need or what you deserve or what is a human right. And then you think is like, wow, what if I had like one more thing wrong with me, or a physical or anything? People must have a really hard time out there.
Yeah, well,
so good vibes sent.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, especially talking about kids being sent out with packages and stuff, and your initial instinct is to blame the parent, but unfortunately that's a hurt kid that just grew up.
Yeah, it's systematic and it's generational.
Yeah, generational, absolutely.
Yeah, I have some pretty strong opinions that would probably take this podcast like 5-6 hours in. This is we'll turn it into a Lex Friedman thing. I'd love to do it again.
We can,
because it's like from my perspective, there's trauma and parental epidemics all over the world.
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
And they're a little bit ignored.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by a little bit, I mean a lot.
Yeah, and it's a friggin' tragedy, man. And I'll tell you, as a relatively new parent, when I hear or see anything like that, it's
and it's
oh man,
you really, and then you realize that person then grew up, right? And then things happen, and I meet them somewhere in life. How our timelines come together, they should not have. My bad. No offense to that person, but I didn't grow up like that. That was an individual thing. My parents did not teach me to turn out or end up some of the places I ended up. But then you meet those people and you look them in the eye, and they tell you their story because you have substances in you, and they get honest, and then you're like, holy crap. And then you're like, oh, a little perspective about this person, you know. Get sober, and 2 years later you see them in the paper with you know, bad things, and you see the whole city view this person is just scum that needs to be put away forever, and you're like, yeah, well, what about that kid though?
Yeah, everybody starts as a baby, man. That's a ball of potential, and
okay, thanks for lightening it up. That's a ball of potential.
Well,
thank you.
It is.
I like the ball reference. It's the ball of potential.
It is. That little baby is a ball of potential, and unfortunately, potential can go in any direction.
Oh, for sure. That's a great. That's correct.
So,
potentially dangerous. Potentially,
and potentially successful. Potentially,
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. And the problem is if it gets nudged onto a path, it can gain momentum, and then that potential turns into something that was not necessarily planned or desired.
No,
it just got pushed the wrong. You know, that poor little baby got pushed the wrong way.
And like all my teachers said, I had tons of potential, and let me tell you, I was real good at being bad. Unfortunately, but now I'm really good at being good, and it's fun. It's fun. It's
a much better feeling to be satisfied at the end of the day. You sit down and you turn the TV on for a little bit. Like, at least in my experience, watch like an episode of Top Chef with the wife at the end of the day. Hell yeah!
Don't get me. I had to stop watching like Ramsay because I'm like, I'll go on YouTube. I've Kitchen Nightmares. I've seen every single one, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm on to tons of consciousness science and some of the. I can't even list the things. Last night, like, it's like having your mind blown up. My doctor actually told me to like stop watching so many existential things. And I'm like, no. It's like the only thing I want to know about is like what they're looking for. It's like, that's very interesting. So I'm on that right now.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. You know, if you don't already know, and you probably do, a dude that I get a real kick out of and have, thankfully, for... Damn, it's got to be about a decade now. A fella named Alan Watts.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Philosopher, and I'm not sure if he was a scientist or I think he was a philosopher and like a social commentator.
Yep, hell of an orator,
and one of the best perspective givers I've ever heard. I listen to him pretty continuously.
Okay, cool.
Pretty all the time. Actually, Dawson we used to start our show with Alan Watts going over a loop.
Wow.
Because I'm obsessed. Yes, he's
okay. So I'm not telling
awesome.
you anything you didn't already know.
Did you know he was quite drunk?
I did. Yes. He was also quite into the ladies.
Yes, apologies if that's not fact, but I don't care because it's funny if it's fact, because now when I listen back, I hear a bit of the looseness in his rambling, and but yeah, he's incredible.
Oh, dude.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What an interesting thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On a more scientific side, I really enjoy a fella named Andrew Huberman. I love Andrew. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so on to. He's so helpful.
Yeah,
that's a rare thing to give him free information in such
on that scope.
Not like non-partisan, non-biased. Like, water's good for you because this. End of episode. Next episode. Alcohol Breathing is good because of this.
Yeah,
you know. but like an hour of why.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's awesome.
I've learned so many things about my body that have changed my life. Cold showers every other day. Very hard in the winter. Like super cold. As cold as you can get uncomfortable until you feel comfortable in it. And, you know, different meditative practices.
What's the longest you're going in the cold shower?
Oh, what's weird to me is I can't get it cold enough. Like once I'm full cold and my body gets used to it, I could stay there. Yeah. I can't. My body gets used to it. It's weird.
Sure.
That change is what is the struggle. Where you're like,
so I was just gonna say then, try moving after you've been in the cold water for a bit. Move around so you can break that thermal barrier.
Yeah, it gets freezing. It gets colder, and under here.
Yeah.
And I learned that you have some. I don't know the name of it because I don't ever remember anything. Especially it's like, hey, we're doing a podcast, so give me what you know. Like, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Certain parts of your body take on the coolness better. Your palms of your hands. Your face, I guess. The bottoms of your feet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the bottoms of your feet.
Yeah, there's a name for the skin or something, but.
I'm sure dermal is in there somewhere.
Yeah. Check out andrewhuberman.com for the actual information.
Yeah. Not just a terrible retelling by a couple of friggin' guitar players.
Yeah. Gotta be careful with that. Apparently, if you say a website, Conan O'Brien said the name of a website one time on his show, and he had to buy it.
What?
Legally. Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah. I don't know what that law is, so don't come back on me on that one.
We might bleep that.
Bleep. Please do.
Okay.
Like, yeah, we got a 12 grand bill from that podcast. Great.
I don't know what this we is. No.
This is what's the name of this podcast?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I see it.
No, it's okay. It's the podcast is actually called 646.
Is it? Nice. Yeah, I knew. I knew it was a number, but I didn't want to give the wrong one.
No, that's okay. Interesting story if you're interested.
I am.
So 646 was the address of the house I grew up in Ennismore.
Love it. And didn't know that. You're an Ennismore guy.
Yeah. When we first moved to Ontario from BC, we moved to Ennismore. And
how old were you?
I was 13.
Oh, okay.
And we were, Robinson Road area.
No.
No. When you come right across the causeway, you can. From in between Bridgenorth and Ennismore.
Yeah.
So when you get off the causeway, it kind of veers left. You can either keep going straight or you can hang a right. Mm-hmm. You hang that right.
You hang the right. Oh, okay. Because the Terra Road's up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. So it would take you up that way. We grew up there, and in our basement was very akin to this kind of setup, which was pretty sweet. And my dad was actually a huge proponent of us playing because he grew up having to play in secret because very fundamentalist religious upbringing.
So that's how you get real rock and roll.
Yeah, and real rebellion.
Yeah.
That he kind of instilled in us, which was really cool.
You get good music out of that.
You can, yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm hit and miss.
Join the club.
Right.
Holy.
But the old man built, he built us a full-blown jam space in the basement, and he even put, like, the bulkhead kind of thing like this. He put lights, like floodlights, and built a light switch board for friends that couldn't play. Because you've met Devin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just once, I think.
Okay. So Devin and I were so obsessed, it was all we would do. So when friends would come over, we wouldn't actually really hang out with them that much. We would just practice. And so eventually just started turning into bands would just come to our house. And our parties were, like, there'd be 3-4 bands in the basement.
Nice.
And
you had people that could do the light thing?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't play, like, get on the lights.
Yeah, get on the light switches.
Get on the lights, Gary.
Yeah, pretty much. Where it's like, hey, man, here's an easel. Here's some, I don't know, charcoal or some paints or whatever. You can paint something while we're doing this. Or if you want to sit in the corner and work on a script or work on a poem or whatever. It was like this weird arts hippie commune.
Sounds pretty hippie. I like it.
Yeah, it was very hippie growing up.
When everybody's sitting in a corner doing art.
Yeah, pretty much. And there was a lot of substance use in that basement. Mm-hmm. So sometimes there's people peeing in the corner.
Yeah,
because they were wasted. And then mopping it up with one of my coats.
I've been in places where you pee in the corner because that's where you pee.
Oh God. We weren't quite that intense.
I didn't go. I wasn't like staying a long time. I was just having a time and getting out.
Right.
I didn't pee in the corner, by the way.
Right.
Nope.
The guy that peed in my corner and used my coat to mop it up. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
We still talk.
That's hilarious.
But so 646 was the address where all that happened, and
Nice.
I was thinking that for this show, I would name it after that because it was just, you know, if you wanted to come hang, you kind of had to be part of the scene that we were building for ourselves because there just wasn't one, at least that I was a part of. When I first got here, it was very closed off to outsiders. You know,
that's how scenes tend to form and then kind of rise and maybe take over another scene. Is that outsiders become, you know, not the majority, but they band together.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we'll do our own thing over here, and then people are like, well, that's more fun than that stupid thing, and then they go do that thing.
Yeah. When we first got here, I had long hair, I wore leather jackets, and I wore Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath T-shirts, which at the time was very unfashionable. It was not in vogue to dig the old school.
Not good for a job interview.
No. Well, I wasn't doing a lot of job interviews at 13.
Oh, 13. Long hair and a leather jacket. Holy.
Yeah, man.
We should have met earlier. We would have been in a famous rock band. Jeez, I had to wait so long.
I know.
Still got time. Time. There's always time for music.
It's not going anywhere.
My new motto is I'm gonna release one song at a time.
Yeah.
Until I can't anymore, and nobody can stop me unless they shut the internet down. Then I'll have to figure something else out.
Right.
Till then, I'm coming.
How long have you been? You said the last 6 days you've been at McKentie's.
Yeah, doing Sarah Jane Riley's new stuff.
Oh, cool.
All sorts. There's a new song coming out in July, early July, and a show in Toronto. I think the song's at July 5th.
So it'll be out.
Cut that out if that's wrong.
Okay.
I should know. 5th, and then the show is that week too in Toronto at Painted Lady. I'm going to do a little solo set, and then a Toronto guest and Sarah Jane Riley.
Very nice.
Yes, and then I did some session work there too.
Right on.
I've known James for years, and of course my addiction really got me separated from a lot of potential and professionalism and friends and social groups, and it's nice to be back with your friend and your buddy and get to be you and also play literally the best sounding drum kit I've ever heard in the studio.
That's rad.
It's in a place right now. Wow.
That's super
Drums
cool.
are a thing, you know, ever shifting.
That's awesome. My kit right now that's set up, this is a practice kit. This is not the tracking kit.
Beauty. No, not good for tracking?
Not for tracking. No, I mean, it's fine.
There's nothing special about what we got going on there. I think it's just the room and the sound and the kit's, I forget the name. Ludwig or something?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Ludwig is good stuff.
Is it? I'm not great with brands.
Ludwig is like super top of the line.
I'm like, sounds good. Guitar, if it's in tune, perfect.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah, those look great.
Nice.
We tried different snares and stuff, and he's got a great touch.
Yeah.
And some great mics, and just misplaying the drums, and it's nice not to have to carry them to a gig or go. I just go in, put the headphones on, and get to mess around, and good vibes.
That's killer.
So fun.
That's so cool. What led to that? Oh, are you recording your own stuff with him?
I am. Yeah, I'm recording with some friends also, and like demoing and kind of figuring my direction out and sound, and I'm gonna track it with James for sure, and I'm gonna have a song coming out in about, I'd say 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna just start dropping quite a few things. I have some plans. There's gonna be, I cleaned up my socials because I've got some big plans for what I want to develop for myself and some things I want to say.
Sure.
Just like some. I want to put something out there that, and it's as cliche as it sounds, can help a stranger that might need some help. I think that's fucking super important.
Yeah.
And one at a time, it doesn't matter. One matters because I know how much it matters to maybe have some help or get you going on the right track or something.
Yeah, dude.
So I've got ideas. I've got some fun songs coming out and some fun demos, and
that's cool.
Yeah, you just gotta wait and see. Gotta wait and see. Super soon though. Like I'm on it. Like I'm leaving here to go do some.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Is it is the plan to just release singles individually?
Yeah.
Okay, so no full length.
No full length yet. I'll just kind of suss out the industry and how it's shifting, and I'm gonna do some singles, maybe an EP, singles into an EP, or I will do a record when I get a record deal. I'm gonna get a community going and a mailing list and socials, and people are awesome. So I'm pretty excited to be under my own name and have a little bit of, or a lot of, control over how I sound and just how I, maybe it isn't I'm not looking at it like if it's the right thing. I'm looking at it as I'm just coming from me. I want the kid in the trailer to start putting singles out because he's like back. He's here, end of mind. So I'm so pumped for that. So
I would say that is the right thing then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well,
looking at you, Sony.
Well, I mean,
I should just cut all the labels so I can do different clips.
Right.
Each one. Looking at you, Warner. Looking at you, Six Shooter. Looking at you. I'll just keep going.
That's awesome. But I mean, I think what resonates with people more than anything is authenticity.
Yeah. Right? I would say so. That's what gets me.
Yeah, same.
That's what gets me. And different kinds of authenticity go to different people. So I do try to make music that hopefully spans some demographics. Because what I'm wanting to talk about, what I want to say is definitely for everybody, no matter what piece of ground you were birthed on, or that doesn't matter. If you're alive, then I want it to affect you in a way, whether sonically or lyrically.
That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm. Try to. Sounds like a big job now.
Yeah.
Shit.
I hate to say it, man, but we're almost out of time.
I bet you.
We just passed the 57-minute mark.
I bet you. My therapist does this to me every week. I just
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Give everybody your socials one more time. Did you want to play something?
Let's do that next time.
Okay,
let's totally do that next time.
All right.
I wasn't sure, so I was just letting you know. It's like I'm ready for anything except a drum solo because I can't do that. Just play the beats.
Yeah, I mean, I really had a blast just hanging out.
Me too. We should do it again.
I agree, 100%.
Anytime.
Sweet. I'm gonna
Part 2.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to go to the gym.
Okay, is that going to be part 2? I'll stream it on my Twitch. I'm bringing my brother.
That's cool, yeah. Because
funny.
Is he retired now?
Yeah. You have to ask him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what he would consider retired, but fighters never retire.
That's very true.
He's a true, like, I don't want to say the wrong word, fighter.
A warrior.
Like, he wants to fight, and I don't think he might be saying that. Like, right now, wherever he is, he's prepared and kind of wants to fight.
Right.
And I think that's okay. I love the guy. He's awesome.
Dude, that's super cool.
I'm same thing with him. I keep saying I'm going to go. And I'm like, I got to come over for a day, and I'm going to let you beat the crap out of me, all right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything, man. Just do it the first time.
Yeah.
And then you've done it.
Like, I want to roll, too. Like, that
totally.
sounds fun.
I'm looking to get back at rolling because I told you about my knee, right?
No, yeah, you did. Yeah. That was...
It was like a year ago.
Yeah, because when I saw you in the parking lot in that one store over there, you told me about that.
Yeah.
That's bad.
It was, I'm okay now. I'm back to doing Thai. But your knee doesn't move in Muay Thai the same way it sometimes moves in Jiu-Jitsu.
Like sideways up and left and over?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
standing on your head, but you're foot's planted on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. There are these awesome braces that I've been looking at online. We're not sponsored in any way by them, but they're called Anaconda braces, and they look really cool.
Oh, amazing! I have a pop in my knee, so I would imagine easing into some of those. Like, it'll be like, let's see what your abilities are right now, which is why I went to the gym, because I knew I was going to do this, and I was like, I'm not going yet.
Yeah.
I need to like get a little tougher on the core and stuff. And
sure. Well,
I mean, do I ever feel ready? Yeah.
That's awesome. For your knee, even if you just get a knee sleeve to start with, because that's what I've got. I just got a couple of sleeves.
I don't feel anything yet, but if I do, say, squats 10, it goes a pop every single time.
I have some really good mobility exercises I can show you if you want.
I bet you can get rid of it the right way. Yeah.
It's all like physio stuff that
spin kicks me.
I'm not gonna. No, dude. I
got this great thing. It's really good for your back.
No, I ate a gnarly spin kick about a month ago. I told you.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. I think we were rehearsing, and you were like, "I got spun kick."
Yeah,
like, that's awesome.
Tore the cartilage in between two ribs. I'm back to training again.
Nice.
Because I keep getting hurt.
Well, I know the sound that the bag makes when my brother kicks it, low kicks it, so I'm not that excited about learning.
Whoop.
But it's like the loudest smack ever, and it's like a loud thud with a.
Yeah,
it's like
that's how you know it's right.
Yeah, I want. Yeah, I don't have that form yet.
Yeah, it's funny actually. If you hear somebody get leg kicked and it's like a, then
it's broken.
No, it's actually not as bad as if you just hear like,
like
if it's
that sounded like it
here,
hurt.
let's see if I can get it in the mic.
That hurt.
That sound.
You got good mics. Good mics.
That sound is somebody's shin bone just digging into your meat. That dude's chopping wood. If he hits you and it sounds like that.
There's a famous fight that's Uriah Faber getting kicked by not Max Holloway, getting kicked by the guy Conor McGregor knocked out in 12 seconds.
Jose Aldo.
Yeah, bad leg kicks. But that fight's it's almost gross to watch. You see the ball in his leg afterwards?
Yeah, man.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Getting damaged.
I guess you did say we were done.
We're pretty much done. Give everybody your socials one more time.
Handshake too.
All right, bro.
This has been awesome.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. And I made it. I missed 3. This is the 4th one. Dylan Ireland _official, or just, there's not that many Dylan Irelands out there. Heads up, I'm not the rapper. Spotify, YouTube, TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. It's fun. It's fun over there. Do whatever you want.
I should probably get a TikTok.
It's terrifying. Don't let when you get TikTok, when you first scroll, don't let that throw you off. The first make sure you search what you like right away and get your own algorithm going.
It's going to be a lot of really, really dark jokes.
Okay, maybe go through it, because, man, some of the stuff you've just never seen before in your life.
Sure.
Some of the stuff people are live streaming. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Good luck.
Thanks. Thank you so much for being here. If you're listening on Pet Rock Radio, thanks for coming by, and thanks to Pet Rock Radio for putting this out. This is a really cool way to kickstart things again, and I'm very grateful. So,
me too. That's the whole thing. And round 2, it's coming soon.
It's coming up. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
It's funny if I'll just miss round 2 of the joke.
Yeah.
You'll pull up. You can pull up and get me. That's fun.